What is up with it? Today we are going to be talking about all the new cards that have been revealed over the last few days. If you haven't seen it, I already made a video on just the Nami leader. Um, Crazy leader. I yap about literally just that leader and its potential for 30 minutes. We'll see how long this video goes. Um, I have no idea. I'm just gonna be yapping about all these new cards since that one was revealed because I think OP11 is the new frontier for power creep. I actually think Bandai has decided, you know what? OP08 was a sleeper. As soon as we banned RP Law, that set didn't matter. And even before we banned RP Law, there were only three cards in that entire set that mattered: Black Maria, Charlotte Pudding, and Jack. Those were the only three cards in the entire set that mattered before they banned RP Law, and they were also basically the only three cards that mattered after they banned RP Law, with a few different exceptions. OP9, fun, cool set, mostly overshadowed by the fact that Dofi is best deck. OP10, pretty similar. Usopp, even worse though, because OP10 really only has Usopp, and Usopp is cool, but he's not tier one. And yeah, so they've just had three sets in a row where the leaders and the product is not that crazy. Like OP9 is a ton of fun. Everyone was excited for OP9 to come out, but in hindsight, it hasn't really made that much of an impact. Everyone just wants to play BY and Dofi anyways. Like BY, Lucci, Dofi. Yeah, so I think they've decided we're not doing that anymore. We are dropping the heat in 11. We are power creeping everything. Um, we are not playing games no more. So, first of all, new Kobe leader, for life, Navy sword, red black, 5,000 power. Your sword type characters can attack characters the turn they are played. So, a little pseudo rush for everything. So Usopp and Rebecca, they get the stage to help them do this sort of thing. He just has it on his leader. So depending on how good the sword characters are, this could be really crazy. If they have a lot of win attacking or things like that, this could be really good. Once per turn, when one of your Navy type characters with an original power of 7,000 or less is removed from play by your opponent's effects, instead, you may place three cards from your trash on the bottom of your deck in any order. Man, that is a good effect. That's a really good blanket protection effect. This deck, I've already seen two different videos of it playing versus Enel because the Japanese players like made that stuff the second this leader dropped. This deck destroys Enel. At least starve, control NL. This deck destroys. Because that protection is on your turn and the opponent's turn. So you don't have to care about any sort of removal, no triggers that remove, no Gadatsus, none of that. So you just get to play Kuzans and your Kuzans always stick. You also get to play um, the new Sengoku, the 7 drop from EBO2, which is a blocker 7k that plays a 4 drop Navy rested from trash. Um, so you just have a lot of really strong plays, and I think this deck will be able to play Kuzan and both the 1 drop and 7 drop Sengoku's really well. So this leader I think has a good amount of potential. It's not as obviously blatantly holy like the Nami is, but it's really good. Also, if you got this far in the video, in the description there's a link to another giveaway that is I'm hosting. If you want to win some sleeves or $200, click the link down there and it will explain the giveaway. I meant to do that at the start, might be. Then this is a new searcher for Navy. It's red. On play, look at the top 5, grab a Navy other than herself, place the rest on the bottom in any order. But the thing that's crazy about this is activate main. You may trash this character, give up to one of your characters plus 1,000 power during this turn. This is just blatant power creep. Like, she's 0 power, so she's not 2000 power, but 2000 power on a 1 drop almost never comes up anyways. Like, it comes up definitely more in a Blackbeard meta, but like, this is just, if you could give this on every 1 drop, you would rather have this than the 2000 power, I think. Basically on every 1 drop in the game. Not so much the ones that rest themselves to search, but other than that, no, actually, especially on those low key. So this is just, when I woke up and I read this card this morning, I was like, they're actually just trying to power creep the game, because this is just something that every deck has, and they were like, let's add a bonus effect. Like, that's as blatant as power creep gets. But it gets better. It gets better. So next we have this secret rare 8 cost 9000 power Kobe. On play, up to one of your characters can attack one of your opponent's active characters this turn. So you can play this, and it can attack active characters similar, either itself or one of your other characters. And it doesn't have to be one of your Navy characters, just any of your characters. But if you do pick a sword type character, which this is a sword type character, that character, you can play a character. Basically, you can play itself, and itself can attack active characters that turn. Similar to how if you have 7-drop Luffy with the Dressrosa stage, boom, you can do that. So pretty good. And that's especially good because it also has a wind attacking effect. You may return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Give your leader or up to one of your characters plus 1000 until the end of your opponent's turn. I think the new frontier for power creep, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, we're gonna see more of this. This concept of boosting our leader, they've decided in OP11, every leader is Whitebeard or better. Because 6,000 power, 7,000 power, in the case of the Nami, is just like extraordinarily strong, extraordinarily difficult to deal with. And they've decided that that's just how this is going to be. We're just going to do that a lot. And that's super scary. That's super scary. I think this is their way of trying to deal with Doflamingo. Because Doflamingo really likes going wide and swinging 5k attacks. And if these leaders are 6,000 and 7,000, that plan is infinitely harder, right? And even like the Kobe leader, it says removed in any way, right? So bounce law isn't going to work on Kuzan. And like Dofi has to play his cards rested, right? So this is going to allow them to attack those instantly. I really, really think this set is really targeted at trying to take out the old stuff. I think they're making cards, they're designing cards specifically that are good against Doflamingo and are good against Blackbeard. I think they're like, we don't want to ban anything. I think Bandai, from what I've seen in One Piece, is like really against banning things. We don't want to ban anything. We actually just want to make stuff that is better than the old stuff. That makes you not want to play the old stuff. But we'll see. Okay, the other, I believe this is a secret rare based on the foiling, but I'm no expert, so who knows, is Monkey D Luffy. And this was the card that I was most interested in seeing be revealed. Because the goal, I would imagine, is to make Dofi less present, I thought for sure they were going to reveal somewhere between a 7 and 9 cost for a Straw Hat. And I thought maybe they would try to specifically make it unplayable in Doflamingo. Because blue has really awful top end, I thought maybe they'll leader lock it, or for whatever reason it won't be playable in Doflamingo. That is not at all the case here. I think this card is potentially playable in Doflamingo. It's hard to say for sure, but I could actually see a world where this is absolutely played in Doflamingo. So it's 8 cost, 8,000 power, has rush, just blanket has it, so it can't even be turned off by Blackbeard or anything. This card is a very anti-Blackbeard card, actually. A crazy anti-Blackbeard card. When attacking, so again, plays around Blackbeard, you may discard one card from your hand, return up to one character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand, then give up to one Rested Dawn to your leader or character. So there's two parts to this. First, this is a crazy anti-Blackbeard card. It has Rush, so you can you're not worried about being too slow versus Blackbeard. The card is going to get instant value before it gets removed or anything. Also can be good in those situations where, you know, your opponent has the 10-drop Blackbeard, and now that blue has a real rush card, they have to be a little more careful about, am I going to block here or yada yada yada. The second part is that the fact that the when attacking bounces a 4 or less, the Burgess is just not going to be able to stick. Currently, Blackbeard versus almost every deck in the game plays a Burgess, and that card is going to be on the board the rest of the game, and there's almost nothing almost any deck can do. Like, Doflamingo has to draw Gravity Blade, right? In this case, blue decks now play this card. Burgess is no longer a problem. We're just bouncing it. Have fun, buddy. Or, you know, even the Doc Qs of the world. You know, it's not that bad to bounce a Doc Q. Genuinely. You know, denying that draw is not bad at all. Also, then it randomly gives a Rested Dawn to leader or character. I know this is to work with the Nami leader, so you can play this on curve. But this also means that you don't even need Teach on board. You can play this on 10 and still leader effect. So I'm excited to see if this gets adapted into Doflamingo at all. I genuinely think there's a world where maybe it doesn't, but honestly it could. It genuinely could. Doflamingo really would have preferred this to be a 7-drop, I think. 7 would have made a lot more sense in the context of that deck. And 8,000 power is just a tad too small, too. We would have also preferred it's 9. But it does have Rush. It does get rid of Burgess. In the mirror, your opponent won't really be able to deal with this, and every turn you'll get a free bounce. In the context of the mirror, you play this, and then it basically will deal with 2 things that turn and won't be able to get removed. So I actually think this card has a ton of potential in Doflamingo, which is crazy to me, because I thought for sure whatever Straw Hat they printed, I thought they would try and make not playable in Doflamingo. And I think they kind of almost tried by making it an 8, by making it only 8,000 power. But then they gave this line of text and this line of text. So I don't know. It might not get played in Doflamingo, but I don't think it's impossible. I really don't. Next is this Sanji card. I'm not extremely impressed with this one compared to a lot of the other cards we'll see, but it's not a bad card. 6 cost, 7,000 power, Vinsmoke family, Straw Hat crew. So this is searchable in both Reiju and Straw Hat decks. No counter, unfortunately. We hate no counter cards. When this character is KO'd by an opponent's effect. Not even just KO'd. I think this card would be a lot more reasonable if it just said when this character is KO'd. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and play up to 1 character with the type Straw Hat and a cost of 5 or less on the field. Then place the rest of the cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is very clearly a very anti-black card, which is really good for blue because blue actually just has almost no counterplay to Lucci just in general. And like half the comments on the Nami video are, okay, still blows up to Lucci like shit deck. So I get it. It's nice for blue to have something like this. That said, I guess we'll finish reading the card. On play, return up to one character with an original power of 5,000 or less to the owner's hand. Not bad. I wish this said 6. If this said 6,000, I think this, like, just two small minor differences. If this says 6,000 and this says just KO'd, this card is unbelievably cracked. As is, I think it's to be seen how playable it is. I'm personally not crazy impressed by it, but it does definitely have some merit in the sense that it's kind of an anti-black card, so maybe it's not unplayable. But 5,000 is like, I don't know. There's not a lot of 5,000 power cards in the game that you're super thrilled to bounce. Especially in a world where Kobe exists. You would love to bounce Kuzan and things, but you're just not going to get to, right? So I don't know. All right, this is the next card where I'm like, they are smoking crack. I don't know what they want. They want Nami to be meta. They want her to be. Okay. First of all, it's a blocker, and everyone speculated, oh, this is going to be Queen. Oh, yeah, it's Queen on crack. On play, if your leader is multicolored, draw 3 and place 2 cards from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, let's talk about the different queens that exist in the game. So there's literal queen, who you have to Dawn minus to use her effect. Which is just really annoying. You can't play queen on curve, basically. No purple deck is allowed to play queen on curve. Because it messes up your curve. You have to play her late game. You have Rayleigh, whose draw 2, trash 1 is contingent on what the opponent does, right? So versus a lot of decks other than Doflamingo, and low-key, even versus Doflamingo sometimes, if you try to play him on curve, a lot of times, you're just not going to get the draw 2, trash 1. There's other versions of Queen that I'm forgetting, but they're like they're pretty contingent on things, right? And they're not that great. This, just if your leader is multicolored, if you're just playing Nami or you're playing Luffy, or just if you're multicolored, it just gets its effect just for free. And not only is it free, it's also 3 and 2 instead of 2 and 1. And also, it's going to go to the top or bottom. So if you actually, as you guys know, sometimes you just see everything you want to, right? Sometimes your hand is just literally God's incarnate when you queen or something, and you're like, man, I don't want to get rid of something, but I have to, right? Not a problem here. Just put them on the top of your deck. You'll draw back into them. Or, you play this, and let's say you're going into your 9 Dawn next turn. Alright, I'll put Sanji on the top of my deck, and I'll put the 8-drop Luffy as the card below that. Boom. Now on 9 Dawn, I have it all set up. This card is like another example of like actually just the most blatant power creep. OP11 is the set, guys. OP11 is the set. Because normally, I don't know how closely you guys follow card reveals. I just love the game, like, so much. I'm so excited to just see what they're cooking. And if you want to see the card reveals as soon as they happen, by the way, join the OPTCG Discord. We have a little thing called card reveals. There's a bot that automatically puts all of these there. Okay. The next one. 10-drop Linlin. Purple. Alright, we already know how good the yellow one is. Let's see how good the purple one is. If your leader has Big Mom Pirates, this character gains Rush. Bro, they want to give everything Rush. I'm telling you, they are trying to design cards that are good versus Doflamingo. Because Doflamingo has to put their characters sideways. They're saying, hey, if you put your card sideways, I'm going to swing into them. Opponent's turn, once per turn. Dawn -5. This is pretty expensive. You may declare a cost. Reveal one card from the top of your opponent's deck. If the revealed card has the same cost as the declared cost, Give up to one of your leaders 2,000 power this turn. Um, that's a pretty strong effect, honestly. That is a pretty good effect. I mean, it feels really expensive compared to what Nami has to do. And I think a lot of this is going to be contingent on the sort of ramp and re-ramp that Katakuri gets. But Black Maria does exist. So big Dawn minusing like this is not as big of a cost as it would have been like pre-08. So this card, I think, has potential to be good, but I'm not as convinced as with some of the other cards that it's crazy. Um, because 10 cost is so big, and because Dawn -5 is so much, which really this card is Dawn -5, or Dawn -6, because you have to reveal the top card, if you think about it, you also have to use your leader effect to look at the top, right? You could blind guess, but that seems a little weird, champ. Um, so, like, realistically, you have to use leader effect, boost your leader to 6k, and then use Big Mom, boost your leader to 8k. Um, or you could, like, be just 6k for that attack, and then on the next attack, you could use this. But there's maybe... I think there's one of my big problems with this card is there's some real potential to outplay your opponent with it. Um, like, imagine I'm playing Doflamingo. The opponent is going to, let's say I swing 5, right? There's a real want um, as the Katakuri player to want to use leader effect on that swing to become a 6k and look at the opponent's top card. But if you do that, and then after that, I play Boa, and now I change my top card before I do another swing, I guess you can always just do this on that same swing because it is for the turn. Yeah, never mind what I just said. I guess the outplay potential would only exist in the context of if for whatever reason your Katakuri opponent didn't want to do this unless they absolutely had to, and they were trying to wait to see if they had to. So it can kind of exist, but it's maybe a little niche. Jinbei, 6 cost, 8,000 power, Fishmen, Fishman Island, Sun Pirates. On play, if your leader has Fishman or Merfolk type, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Activate main once per turn. Up to one of your Fishman or Merfolk characters can attack characters the same turn they are played. This card is really good. 6-8, really, really good stat line. Every single turn, you're going to be giving one of your characters rush, basically. Again, I really feel like this whole we're giving rush to attack characters, and we're also boosting leaders is like actually just Doflamingo hate. And then also like the fact that you can do this literally every turn, and the turn that it's played, it rests a 5. I think this card is pretty good, honestly. I think Jinbei and Shirahoshi are the two leaders that people seem to be the least excited about, and they're the leaders that seem to have the least amount of potential because green is such an awful color. But this is definitely not a bad start. Neptune, yellow character, 5 cost, 7,000 power, Merfolk, Fishman Island. On play, if your leader is Shirahoshi, you may turn the top card of your life face down, draw 2 cards, and discard 1 from your hand. This is an interesting card. I mean, going +1 is nice. It's also pretty overstated at 5/7. There's very few 5/7s in the game. No counter, unfortunately. This is the only Shirahoshi card we've seen so far. I think it doesn't put Shirahoshi in really good limelight yet, but it's not a bad start. I think Shirahoshi is probably the one that is least likely to pop off, but we'll have to see. And then we have these alt arts. I think they all look really good. I think they all look really good. The Nami alt art is going to go for $500. Kind of an interesting art style that they've gone for these. I don't really think we've seen leaders with this art style before, so kind of interesting. Um, yeah, but seriously, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you guys like these types of videos. The Nami one gained like by far the fastest traction that I've had on the channel, so I thought, hey, I woke up and read all these cards and I thought they were insane. Like, I actually genuinely believe OP11 is going to be nuts if the cards that they continue to reveal continue to be this good. So I thought maybe you guys would enjoy this. My video about Sleeve Chief scamming me should maybe hopefully come out today, maybe tomorrow. I got an Anel video of me versus Jonathan Chow that should be coming out tomorrow. I'm really excited about that one. Got a lot of good stuff in the works, honestly. But thank you all so much for watching. Join the giveaway below. Join the Discord below. Have a great rest of your day.